not too many pieces of media I am more passionate about than The Sopranos. It is my favorite collection, series, chronology, however you want to put it. It's my favorite brand in media, and it's mandatory, especially if you think like I do, to separate the art from the artist from so many different characters. Like whether you have Stevie Van Zandt, Silvio, hey, how's it going? Hey, hon. Just being a raging lefty with the E Street Band and Bruce Springsteen, okay? And now with Christopher here, Michael Imperioli, oh my god, just being an absolute sped when it comes to the Supreme Court. It's tough, but it doesn't diminish the fact that I look and I see it every single day. You know, my complete series of The Sopranos Blu-ray collection that's right over there. It's still great. I recommend it to everybody. It's one of those things where you can watch it through chronologically and you can get a complete story out of it, or you can just watch individual episodes and they're great contained stories in and of themselves, even if you don't quite understand all of the inner character workings. It's great. I can't recommend it highly enough, even though a lot of the people involved in this stuff are just so cringe. Thank God this got created before everything became political. Sopranos star Michael Imperioli, and he was also in Goodfellas. He was also in a bunch of other things as well. So this is apparently a blanket plea that's out there, but what a dork. Okay. Slams SCOTUS for ruling in favor of web designer who refused to work on LGBTQ weddings. Yes, that's another one, because we heard about the affirmative action ruling, but there was another one where, yeah, guess what? You know, small businesses and businesses in general have the right to refuse service. I didn't think that required a Supreme Court ruling, but back in the day when it used to be bake the cake bigot, now it's work on the website bigot, but not anymore, sucker. And says he now forbids bigots and homophobes to watch his work. Oh, shucks. And given the standard leftist that anybody who disagrees with me is a bigot or a homophobe, well, technically, I guess I would be involved in that, but I want to watch Goodfellas again, just to watch Spider to get shot, or what is it? I forget specifically. It's the second or third last episode of The Sopranos. Right at the beginning. I won't spoil it in case anybody hasn't watched it, but I'll just be rooting for oncoming traffic even harder. Sopranos star Michael Imperioli sarcastically thanked the Supreme Court for allowing him to discriminate as he banned bigots and homophobes from watching his work. Yo man, Joey Sack, who is a based old conservative, I forget his name, but he was on with Anthony Cumia a handful of times a few years ago. God, he's super based. He's probably seeing this and he's going, I should have shot you when I had the chance. Imperioli posted on Instagram Saturday following the Supreme Court ruling in favor of a Christian web designer who argued she shouldn't have to design a page for a same-sex couple. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Supreme Court, for allowing me to discriminate and exclude those who don't agree with, and am opposed to USA. Imperioli continued before getting more serious and saying hate and ignorance is not a legitimate point of view. God, these people have zero fucking self-awareness. Everybody who I don't agree with can't watch anything that I've been in before. Hate and ignorance is not a legitimate point of view. Okay, all right. He later commented on his post, America is becoming dumber by the minute. I agree, because you still have a megaphone. And the fact that you're still being labeled as Sopranos star over 10 years after the finale, after 10 years after Don't Stop Believing gets cut off and the screen goes to black and everybody thought that their cable box was being taken off the air at the time. Fucking oof. Tell me how you cannot parlay any of the success into anything going forward, but you continue to hawk, hey, remember I was Mike, I had a coke habit, and my character used to fuck super hot Drea Di Matteo. Why do I forget her name? I remember her real name, I forget her fucking character name. It might come to me. You've always been a fuck up, Christopher. Always been a fuck up. The actor is now just one of many activists who have spoken out in recent days against the decision. Yeah, of course. It kind of sucks, man. But it is what it is. Just thank God James Gandolfini is not here to see just the absolute state of the rest of the cast. For the most part. But he was kind of a flumpy lefty himself. So just rest in peace, James. God damn it. The 6-3 conservative-backed decision overturned the lower court's ruling that Denver area business owner Lori Smith was not allowed an exemption from a Colorado law that prohibits discrimination based on sexual orientation. Smith, the owner of 303 Creative, is an evangelical Christian who said she believes marriage only exists between a man and a woman. All right, fine. Too bad she also couldn't believe that marriage only exists within the confines of a religious ceremony and the state need not be involved, but well, hopefully eventually totally get there when it comes to a bunch of... Anyways, she sued Colorado's Civil Rights Commission and officials in 2016. This has been going through the courts for 7 years. Okay, because she said she feared being punished for refusing to serve gay weddings. Well, yeah, of course. And all of these activists, just like with the big gay cake baker from back in the cut, they look for these places in order to raise grievances. They shopped the cake situation. They shopped like a dozen different bakeries in order to find the one that was run by a Christian conservative that said, don't really jive with my morals, in order to just blow it out of the water multiple times. You can go take a look at that story. Everything that I said right there is total facts. It might be over... I'm probably underselling the amount of bakeries that they shop through, but I'd imagine this is probably a very similar situation, because how many different graphic designers are online? How many different web designers are out there? You could go even buy just a little course in the kit that you can make you run your own WordPress website. It's not that difficult. You would have had to search somebody out who probably has a Christ is King banner at the top of their web creation homepage business. So it's somebody looking to raise a problem. During oral arguments, Smith insisted she did not want to discriminate against anyone, but simply objected to not being able to express her Christian beliefs. She argued her website counted as art and were protected by her constitutional right to free speech. No, that's a decent argument. Decent argument for sure. Ultimately, the Supreme Court conservative majority agreed, even as liberal justices argued that a ruling in Smith's favor would encourage other businesses to discriminate against certain customers, which is their right. For fuck's sakes, man. If somebody comes into your store, is a repeat offender, is rude to the customer service, is rude to other customers, you catch them trying to, if it's a food shop, okay, trying to steal muffins, reaching over the counter, sneezing everywhere, you have a right to refuse their service. And yeah, even if you want to think, well, what if somebody doesn't want to serve somebody because they're black? That is still their right, after all. The right to refuse service is absolute. And then, guess what? You let the free market decide. Okay, if somebody's going to have a racist bakery or a racist sandwich shop, then the market will get word of that and then the place will close down. Ta-da! So yeah, if you're a deeply religious individual and you don't want to dabble in the degeneracy, well, guess what? You better have a very strong religious base behind you that'll just go ahead and keep you going, because you're turning away, a fraction of a percentage of the population? But I would bet if you didn't make it specifically targetedly gay, she would have been totally fine with making your website. It is what it is. But like so many other political issues that are out there that are just gleamed on by a bunch of B and C and D-list actors that are out there in order to just try to pop some relevance, that's more or less what Mike's doing over here. Best of luck to you. I know that you're running that Sopranos watch-along show with Bobby Bacala. Hopefully that's doing well for you, because I have no idea what else you're doing. Maybe this is going to be your last gasp for attention, but last time I checked, the old gangster genre, that's not the one that's coming back around. Maybe westerns, huh? Maybe there'll be some role in some Brokeback Mountain 2 spin-off series that you can opine for there. But with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.